Good morning, students. We have already completed aggregate demand. Today we'll be starting with the aggregate supply. And you all know that this is like approximately the third or fourth part of our aggregate demand and aggregate supply chapter. That is income and employment chapter. So let's begin with the aggregate supply. What is aggregate supply? See, when one person is supplying, say for example, a businessman is producing something when he's supplying the market, that is not an aggregate. That is called just like some individual supply, a person supply. But when so many people jointly, when they'll supply together, all the products and services, all the goods and services produced in the nation, when they are after the production, when they're supplying, that is, if we'll add on all the supply, we call it as aggregate supply. So just see the term in the term like terminology, what we can say that this is same concept of microeconomic demand and supply expanded to consider a country's entire economy. Okay. Previously, we were studying about the only one part, that is individual or something. Here, when we are talking about the entire economy, we call it as aggregate. So aggregate is another way of saying total. Okay. So really, we are looking at total supply in country at a given time. Obviously, why we have to write given time? Because we cannot say for the like any other period. Like when we are talking about 1 year, so that is only aggregate supply of 1 year, right? This means all the consumers and all producers and all markets express on one diagram, the aggregate supply and demand diagram. Okay, let's check what are the components of this thing. First, aggregate supply is money value. Another meaning, aggregate supply is money value of total output that all the producers, that all the producers, that all the producers are planning to produce during an accounting year. Okay, during an accounting, they are planning. Aggregate supplies, whatever they are planning. And national income also we have studied. So aggregate supply is always equal to national income. Why? Once again, see, it is money value of total output. And what is national income? That is total output, value of total output, remember or not? So that's why always we used to say aggregate supply is equal to national income. And how can we denote this one? Aggregate supply we can denote with AS, and income, national income, we can denote with Y. And you know that Y is equal to C plus S. Why Y is equal to C plus S? If you remember yesterday, day before yesterday, whenever we have studied in the aggregate demand, there were two concepts in aggregate demand. What was that? C plus I. Here in aggregate supply, there are two concepts. That is, I mean to say two components, from consumption plus saving. Why consumption plus saving? There we have talked about consumption plus investment. Here we are talking about consumption plus saving. If the producer will save something, then only he can increase his production, right? So that's what, there are two components of income. Or you can say from example, from viewpoint of income. Suppose if a human being, generally suppose say for example me, my income, whatever income is there, how can I use my income? I can use my income only in two ways. One, through the consumption, and the rest of the things I'm going to save. So if we'll see from the income point of view, you can easily understand that Y is equal to, that is Y means income. Income is equal to C plus S, that is consumption plus saving. Okay, only two components, consumption plus saving. Aggregate demand, how many concepts were there? Four concepts, remember? But out of that four concepts, we have studied only two, which we are going to study, which is in your CBSE, according to your CBSE syllabus, we are going to study only two parts, right? So Y is equal to C plus S. Okay, now as I said, AS is equal to Y, so we can say AS is equal to Y or is equal to C plus S. That means AS is equal to C plus S, we can write. Once again, I'll tell you, AS is equal to Y, but Y is equal to C plus S. That means how we are going to utilize our income? In the form of consumption and saving. So when we can say Y is equal to C plus S, we can say AS is equal to Y is equal to C plus S, right? So component of AS can be consumption and saving. I think you might have understood. Now just see, we can just write through a schedule, we can understand. If the income will keep on increasing, we have already studied when the income will keep on increasing, the consumption level also will keep on increasing. At the zero level of income also, some consumption will be there. Okay. If we remember, we have already studied in the demand chapter, I would say aggregate demand. And then saving. If 60 at the zero level of income, if you are using 60 rupees worth of consumption, if you are utilizing, From where you are getting? Obviously from your saving, from your old saving. And that's why your saving will reduce by 60 because there is no income. Zero level of income, you are doing 60 worth rupees of consumption, then 60 rupees will be your saving will be deducted because from your saving only you are utilizing this thing. Now, second thing, if you can say, if the income from 0 to 100 increase 0 to 100, the consumption level also will increase, as we know. So what is this? Consumption is 130. See here, once again, we can say consumption is more than income. So how much extra you are using? 30. So 30, once again, we have taken from saving, and that's why minus 30. Or you can say 60 minus 0 minus 60, 130 minus 100, sorry, 100 minus 30, 130 minus 30, 0 minus 60 is equal to minus 60. Always income minus consumption, you will get saving. Okay, income minus consumption. Why? Because consumption plus saving will give you income. That means income minus consumption will give you saving, or income minus saving will give you consumption. Okay, this formula you can make it yourself. And what is this? I'll show you this one. AS is equal to what? C plus S. This both if you add on, you get AS. That means 60 minus 60 plus 60, you'll get 0. 130 minus 30, you'll get 100. So always remember, AS is equal to C plus S. That means nothing but AS is equal to income. You are getting all the equal values here, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. Same thing we are getting over here. Okay, how we are getting? By adding C plus S. So you might have understood that how we can calculate this thing. Okay, you can see once again, and then we can proceed further. I think you might have understood. Now let's discuss with the help of curve. How can we draw the curve? You already read this particular this thing. I'm going to say schedule. Now, how to plot this all these things on the curve? See, students, this side income, that is Y, and this side consumption plus saving total. As I said, the same value. So obviously, when AS, that is C plus S, is same than Y, so obviously we'll get the curve as 45 degree only. Just half. एकदम बीचों बीच में line आएगी, right? Exact half. Why? Because consumption and saving is equal to income. Here also you can see consumption plus saving is equal to income. Understood, students? That's why you can say that always will get 45 degree curve. 45 degree line will denote AS. Okay? If a question, this is an important question, generally they are asking again and again, most of the time in the CBSE board. So just note it down. Why AS can be denoted by 45 degree line? Why? Because always AS is equal to Y. Okay? Understood? AS is equal to Y. Okay. Next thing. Now we are going to study about the consumption function. What is this consumption function? Consumption function. Okay, how consumption is working, how it is functioning. Consumption, how it works. What is this thing? According to Keynesian, consumption is a function of income. When income increases, consumption increases. Again, we are telling. So the amount of money that people spend out of national income on the purchase of goods and services for the direct satisfaction of their wants is called aggregate consumption. Whenever you are earning something and out of your total income, if you are spending on the basic necessities of your life or whatever, even though it might not be basic or it might be your, say for example, luxurious item, but whatever, whenever you are spending on goods and services, okay, in purchasing the goods and services, whatever income, whichever part of your income you are spending, that is your aggregate consumption, obviously for a given period. This also we have to take it as a given period. So now what is propensity to consume? That is, it refers to the schedule that shows the relationship between different levels of consumption and different level of income. Propensity to consume means a different level of income and consumption, relationship between both. Okay, that means what is that? You can say whenever the income increases, the consumption also increases. Whenever the income increases, the consumption also increases. That is the relationship. But how it increases? Whether the income increases more in the same ratio, whether we are increasing the consumption, that we are going to study in the further part. But you just note it down. Propensity to consume is nothing but the relationship between the different levels of consumption and different level of income. Okay. Here, propensity to consume in crores is explained. You can see here, income is increasing one by one. Same example I have taken. So consumption, say for example, from 10 to 900, then 190. When, what will happen? Till certain time, we are going to utilize the whole income. But after, when the income is increasing more and more, people will start saving because they will not be having so much thing to spend a lot of money. Only few people will be there, those who are spending the total income. Or we can say, once it will satisfy with all our wants, then we will start saving. So when income is increasing more and more, people will start saving little bit. So like see here, it is little, but when still income is increasing in the same level, the consumption level is increasing, obviously increasing, but at a diminishing rate because we'll start saving more and more, right? That's what we have explained through this particular graph. You can see the graph, okay? It is clearly mentioned over here. C into S saving and this one AS, okay? Okay, student? AS, C, S. Saving always starts from negative. Why? We know that this is minus 10, okay? I have not written here, but when the income is 0 and consumption is something, minimum consumption is there, okay, that consumption we are using from our saving. So this is minus 10 and that's why it will start from the negative, okay? It will start below the 0, that is minus 10. And consumption will always be parallel to the saving curve. Okay, AS is like combination of C plus S. I think you might have understood. We'll go for the next one. This is features of this thing, consumption function. What are the features of consumption function? Psychological concept. This is a psychological concept. Second thing we can say is unequal propensity to consume. We cannot say that our propensity to consume will be equal. It will keep on differing. Income and employment depends on propensity to consume only. Why income and employment depends on propensity to consume? Because as I said, more saving, what will happen? For a nation, more saving is not right. But for an individual, saving is obviously it's the right thing because always all the people want to save more and more. But as a whole, if we talk about the economy, the saving should not be more. Why? Because if saving will be more, that means demand is less. And if the demand is less, what will happen? The supply will become less. If supply means production. So if production will decrease, they'll just remove some of the employees, those who are extra for them, because they might be having extra stock with them. So if they remove the people from the job, the income will decrease, right? National income. Why? Because they don't have income. So in the rotation, once again, the demand will be less and something like that. If you remember, we have studied in the circular flow of income, like, and always we have to assume as though whatever we are producing, the same thing is consumed. Then only the economy is in the benefit. That is other thing. It's just like an assumption. This should happen. That's what. So that's why we used to say income and employment depends on propensity to consume. The next one is consumption in the short run. There are two topics, consumption in the short run and consumption in the long run. But this time, CBSE board has removed this particular part. We are going to read only this part till this part. Okay, we don't have this two part. I would say consumption in the short run and consumption in the long run. We don't have separately. Okay, now we'll discuss about the next one. Shapes of different consumption curve. What are the shapes of different consumption curve? Here you can see here which start from the point origin. Okay, why it will never start from the point this one? I would select from 0. It will always start from this thing. If you remember, I told you the consumption cannot be 0. Okay, why? Because in the first video I've shown that if person is not having income, either he will beg or something he will do, or he will use his old savings, but he has to survive. To survive, he has to use something, he has to consume something, he cannot die, right? That's why minimum consumption always will be there. Okay, the kinds of propensity to consume, there are three things: average propensity to consume, marginal propensity to consume, and another thing. Okay, so average propensity to consume, how can we calculate this thing? Ratio of consumption expenditure to any particular level of income. Okay, ratio of consumption expenditure to any particular level of income. Then only we can say we can calculate average propensity to consume. You know how to calculate average propensity to consume. In the last year also we have studied average expenditure, average this one APC, you might have studied, right? So that's what it is, type of that only. Average, how to calculate average. like total divided by the this one number of units if consumption is increasing. In the future part, I'm going to explain you how we can do this, right? Calculation on. But here you just understand the meaning. Average propensity to consume, how we can denote this thing? C by Y. Why C by Y? Because C is consumption level, and on the given income, out of this given income, how much you are consuming, that is your average propensity to consume. Okay. Marginal propensity to consume is the ratio of change. Always remember change. Marginal means change. Always remember. Marginal means change. Okay. So MPC, how it can be calculated? Delta C upon delta Y. Same thing. Here it was C upon Y. Here it is delta C upon delta Y. Why? Because that is average. And here this is MPC. MPC is going to note only the change in the consumption and change in the Y. Okay. Example is given in front of you, that if income is 100, consumption is 70, and their income rises from 200 and consumption is 130, you can see what is the changes from 100 to 200. Income increase to 100, and 100 से 200 हो गई. That means difference between the 100 and 200 is 100. So income is 100. Change in income is 100. Okay, and change in consumption is 70 to how much? 130. So what is the difference between 130 and 70? 60. So 60 upon 100 will give you 0.6. So MPC is 0.6. Okay, students, I think you might have understood clearly. The next one is average propensity to consume. I already explained you this thing. We'll go over the next slide. This one, features of MPC now. Okay, previously we have studied about the features of propensity to consume. Now this is the features of only MPC. Always positive. MPC is always positive. Always remember, we cannot write minus 0.6 or minus 0.4, something like that. It is always positive only. Okay, always greater than 0 and less than unity. First of all, why it is always positive? Because consumption cannot be negative. Always remember, if a question comes that why MPC is always positive, remember that consumption cannot be negative, and that's why MPC also cannot be negative. It is always positive. Okay, always greater than 0 and less than unity. That also why, if you remember, we are comparing with the total income. Out of total income, whatever like changes, so it cannot be 0 and it cannot be less than unity. With an example, I'll show you in the future part that how it cannot be. Okay, we'll apply in the example so that you can understand, so that you can easily understand. Next is MPC of the poor class is higher. Why MPC of the poor class is higher always? Why? Because marginal rate of consumption will be less. I would say, sorry, MPC will be always more in the poor people. Why? Because whatever income they are deriving, that totally most of the time they are going to consume the total income, because their income is level is not so high that they can they can save more, they can consume more. So marginal propensity to consume is always higher in case of poor people. Okay, not like rich people. So constant MPC in the long run, this you don't have to study. These two parts will be eliminating. It can be greater than in abnormal conditions. Obviously, in abnormal conditions, it can change. We cannot say that always the rules will remain same. But in abnormal cases, the rule can be changed. Now, next is causes of fall in MPC. What are the causes that why the MPC is falling? Fulfillment of the basic wants. Once, if a person will fulfill his, all the basic wants, then what he will start thinking? He will start thinking about the saving for about his future. When he will start thinking about future, he will start saving. So that's what, once if the basic wants are fulfilled, then he will start increasing the saving, but he is going to reduce the consumption. So when he will reduce the consumption, obviously there will be a fall in consumption. Once again, I'll tell you, when the basic wants are fulfilled, the person will start saving. That means they will start consuming little more or less. The consumption level will decline. And the consumption level will decline, we can say the fall in MPC will take place, right? Constant habits in the short period. Constant habit. People are having habits. We cannot say that due to the habits also, generally what will happen, the MPC will fall. Like for example, if a person is having habit to smoke, one after another, continuously he might have smoked. So what will happen after his saturation period will come, then MPC, that is consumption level, will decline. Okay. consumption expenditure and the level of income in the past. This also is another cause. Consumption expenditure and the level of income in the past. Suppose a person might have taken loan. Now he is not consuming, but he has to fulfill. I'm to say is to give away his loan. Then consumption is not increasing. But what happened? He has utilized the saving. Like even though saving might not be there, but minus saving was there. That is, he has to repay the loan or something like that. So that we can say the level of income in the past. Okay, consumption. That also will affect the causes of fall in the MPC. Next is uncertainty of future. We don't know in future what will happen. So that also will affect the fall in the MPC. That also will affect the fall in the MPC. Okay, students. Next, propensity to save. Now we have already studied about propensity to consume. Now we are going to study about the propensity to save. What is the propensity to save? Obviously, the rest of the part, like if I say 0.06 is my propensity to consume, then the rest of out of the 10, 0.6 gone for consumption and 0.4 is saving. That means out of 100 rupees, 6 if you have consumed, 4 you have to save, right? So that's what propensity to save. How you are going to calculate? The schedule showing relationship between income and saving. There it was income and consumption. Here it is income and saving at a different level of income. It is also function of saving. Saving function, how can we write? S is equal to F. F means function and Y, function of Y. How you are going to save your income? Okay, that's we can denote in this way. Average propensity to save, how can we write? How can we calculate? S upon Y. If you remember, in average propensity to consume, what we have done? C upon Y. Average propensity to save, how we can write? S upon Y. And Y is equal to C plus S and should be equal to 1 only. Always it should be equal to 1. This is just like a rule, and I already explained that why it should be equal to 1, right? Because we have to assume the total income is equal to 1. Then out of 1 rupee, we are going to spend in these two parts. Okay, we are going to segregate our 1 rupee in this two parts. 1. Okay, that's why C plus S is equal to always 1. Divided the whole equation by in this way. See, how can you write? 1 is equal to C plus Y, C upon Y plus S upon Y is equal to APC plus APS is equal to Y. If you put the formula in such a way, you will calculate anyhow. Separately, I have shown you here, and then you can just denote in this way. If you don't understand this thing, you can ask me. Okay. Now this thing, how we can write MPS? How we can calculate MPS? Another formula is there, that is MPS is equal to 1. That means 1 minus MPC will give you MPS. Here you can write in this way also, that is change in saving upon change in Y is equal to MPS. Okay. There are two types through which you can calculate. Here I have just denoted here once again. S plus C is equal to Y. That is the relationship between MPC and MPS. What is the relationship? Here it is clearly shown. MPC plus MPS is equal to 1. MPS is equal to 1 minus MPC. MPS क्या होता है? 1 minus MPC. Okay, here also you can see both the things is equal to 1. Okay, I think you might have understood easily. You can see here change in saving plus change in consumption will give you change in Y. S plus C is equal to Y. All the concepts are already explained in future parts. I'm sorry, in previous one. Here I can show you the last slide. This is diagrammatic presentation of AS. How can you diagram? How can you present this? I've already shown you how 45-degree curve is coming up. This once again I've shown you here. Okay. For today's topic, this much only, Vita. This much only, students. Please listen. Please go through the video thoroughly, and if you have any doubt, you can just put. You can note down your doubts. Okay. Thank you.